Hey guys, I think today's a great day to talk about Starlink. I've had it now for a little over a month now and kind of just want to share my views on it, and do I actually think it's worth the price, or should you maybe just keep doing what you're doing and wait for a cheaper option? Let's get into it. So you guys aren't going to believe this, but I'm actually not on the island anymore. Yesterday I left and I'm actually in Glacier National Park in Canada at my favorite campground here, and I'm going to be doing a hike tomorrow, so pretty excited about that. I wasn't able to do it last time, so should be good now. But I guess the first thing I'll show you guys is with my Starlink, I put it in here. Now I know what you're saying. Kevin, your Starlink's not gonna fit in there. Well, I know that. But the cable for it's in there. And what I do to set it up is I open it up. I open it up, I have this little flap here. I pull my cable out, run the cable through there, and then I just set it up wherever I can get signal. Now I'm in a lot of places where I don't have the greatest signal, and it's like treed in or something, but like right now I can get to that opening out there and set it up, or if I want to, I can throw it up on the roof. Now sometimes when it's up on the roof, you don't have the option to have it set up in the right spot, so that's why I keep the cable in this little box here, because now I can just take it and deploy it wherever I want to, and I have 50 feet to work with. Where if I hard mounted it on the roof, it would be more of a hassle for me to climb up there, pull it down, reroute the cable and everything like that just to set it up. So I like this setup a lot, and it's worked for me. And I don't always set it up either. I sometimes just use my cellular data. The wasps are really bad. I forgot about that. There was no wasp on the island, but as soon as you come out to the mainland now, there's wasps everywhere. Sometimes I wonder about screen doors. I'll let some light in here, eh? Now, something that is a little bit of a grime to me with it, and probably the reason I don't use it all the time, is the power usage with it. It's pretty demanding. Like when I turn my inverter on, it's automatically basically using one amp just to run the inverter. When you're limited on power and you have to use the inverter to run the Starlink, you end up noticing that your power usage goes way up. It's sitting at like, I think it usually sits at around 8 amps it's using. And yeah, it's like I can go probably about 3 days using it, so long as I turn it off at night, and I'll be okay. I'd also say though, a lot of those days, if I have solar or something supplementing it, then it's not too bad. The power usage is supplemented and I'm not noticing it as much. But as soon as it starts to get dark out a little bit, then you start noticing your battery go down, and then the next day it's raining or something. And then all of a sudden you're at 50% of your battery and you're like, well, maybe I'll just charge the system. So you pull out your generator and charge it. But it's not a big deal, right? But it is something to be concerned about. It's a bit of a hassle for that. Your solution to that is you could get the mini. That uses drastically a lot less. I believe it's like 35 watts, which I think would come to like 3 or 4 amps. So it's like half the power. For anyone thinking about getting this, I would definitely make sure to have a bigger battery system, at least 200 amp hours. You could probably manage with that. I even say mine's too small. I'd say 600 amp hours would be actually perfect for it. I think then you could get full like 5 days off of that, where right now I could do maybe 3 or 4 days on and off with it. I don't know. Come winter time, that's going to be really interesting with that. But I also plan on canceling my subscription with it for the winter, and then I'll just turn it back on for the summer. That's kind of what I like about the Roam package with it, is you can just turn it on and off. I live in Canada, by the way, so I can't get the mini. That's not available to us yet. So I can't do like the 50 gigs a month. So when that does come to Canada, I'll probably just go with whatever the cheapest plan is with it. And that's because I'm not using it as my only source of internet. My phone has more than enough data on it. And that brings me to my next little grime about Starlink. Okay, so this is gonna sound a little crazy to everyone here. This is what we have to pay in Canada for Starlink. When I ordered my Starlink, the first thing I noticed was I was going to get shipped to where I was in BC. They wanted to charge me PST per month if I got shipped to BC. So I was like, huh, okay. So I checked it, and I seen that if I ship it to my address in Alberta, that's where I have my permanent address. That's a whole nother video. It was going to be about $10 a month cheaper. So I was like, yes, I'll get shipped there, and then I'll get my mailing service, my mail service, to ship it to me wherever I am. So I did that, and I got it for $178 a month, which sounds really expensive, but for the Roam package, that's just what it was. It's actually gone up now, and I believe it's going to be, yeah, the base price without tax is $190 now for it, and that's just a bit bonkers to me. Now, by all means, to have internet anywhere, I do still think it's worth it. Like, don't get me wrong, when you're out traveling like this and you're going down to remote places, like $200 a month for internet that literally works anywhere, that's not too bad. Not to mention unlimited internet, so you can watch like a 4K movie or do whatever anywhere and not have to worry about data limits or anything like that. You just turn it on and go. It's not bad. Now, the solution to that is obviously going to a smaller plan like the minis, where it's, I think, $50. Well, this is US prices too. I don't know how much it's going to cost when it comes to Canada, but in the US it's $50 a month for it, and you get 50 gigs with it on the mini. And then after that, it's $1 per gig. Now, I checked my last statement though, and I used 328 gigs of data off of my Starlink, and I'm not even using it full time always. The most I used it was on Vancouver Island when I was up north, and I just needed internet. I couldn't get it anywhere, so I just stuck it out there, and all of a sudden I had internet. And so with my usage like that, I could bring it down quite a bit. You can go with all your video streaming services or using like YouTube or anything. You can set the resolution of the video way down, and that'll cut your data in half. If you watch all your videos at 4K, yeah, you're going to use a lot of data. That's about 10 gigs per video. So definitely think about that. If I was able to have Starlink and have it just on that 50 gig plan, which I think they're going to offer the plan and you don't have to get the mini. And in that case, I'll probably just do that, just because I already have this stuff, and I'm not, like, this one uses a lot of power, but to buy an entire new kit would be, I don't know, wasteful to me. So I like this idea better of just using what I have, but downgrade the plan a bit to just the 50 gig one. And then I'll just probably run everything at low resolution and just kind of stretch out that 50 gigs, and then afterwards, if it's $1 per gig or whatever, then so be it. It'll be like, I don't know, maybe $120 a month for that. My phone plan is $115 a month, and I have 150 gigs on it, so that's still pretty good for me. And where I'm going to be in the winter, that's going to work in 90% of the places anyways, so I'm not too concerned about switching that up. That's perfectly fine the way it is. I've never even gotten close to going over on that. So that's kind of my plan with it for the winter, is just turn it off for the winter, because you're in Canada, you can't really get to these really remote places if it's not plowed. So I'm just going to be at ski resorts mostly. They all have cellular service, so I'm not really concerned about that. I'm down to like my last two little things about it. I think it's pretty awesome that it works everywhere. Obviously, some places there's a lot more tree coverage or you have mountains in the way and stuff. And yeah, it'll have a difficult time working there. But I have found that it still will work. Like, not to do anything super fast, but it will literally like still work. I can watch a movie or something like that. Like, obviously uploading a video, don't even try it when it's like that. It's not fun. But you can be out in the middle of nowhere if you need to like check the weather or something like that, and you realize, oh, my campsite's like blocked in with trees right now. You just slap it up on the roof and try to get as high as possible. Usually if you have some view of the sky, it will still get you something, and then you should be okay for just very light usage, not anything too crazy. And obviously with that, as the satellites pass over, you get dropouts of it. And that's when you start to notice like you lose connection for a second and then it comes back. But it's manageable. It's better than nothing, right? Your other option with that too is drive somewhere that you have more of a clearing and just be more mindful of the campsites that you choose. So yeah, for the most part, would Starlink take over completely all of my internet needs? I don't think so. I've thought about hard mounting it on the roof, but I like the idea of being able to deploy it wherever I want. That way, if I'm in a campsite where I'm like really treed in and just outside of me is like a little clearing, I can just run the cable all the way out there, and then my internet can shoot into there and then zap it into the camper like that. But as for like driving down the highway with Starlink on the roof and me having service all the time, no. I kind of like being out of service when I'm driving anyways. That way I'm not thinking about my phone and I'm kind of just driving down the road, focusing on the road. I mean, I got my entire house with me, so I got to think about that. So sometimes it's better just to be disconnected while on the highway. And if I really needed it, I could just set it up quick and then check whatever I need to online after I pull over. So I guess the other thing too with them upping the price on this, they now let you use it while driving. I mean, a lot of people in Alberta were already doing that. They had it set up on a quad on the back of their truck or whatever, and they're driving down the highway with using Starlink still. For the most part, from what I heard is people saying that, yeah, it worked fine like that. So I don't know if it ever was shut off, but now they're releasing it as it wasn't. But yeah, the price went up and it sucks. That really bums me out. $200 is a lot, and I was already questioning it when I was going out to buy it in the first place. I was like, is this actually worth it? Should you do it? And then I finally do it and I love it, but they raised the price and I'm like, so is this just what it is? Is it just going to keep getting the price raised on it as we go, or is it eventually just going to get cheaper? I don't know. I think it's a great invention. I think it pushes the rest of the industry to solve issues like that, like the problem of internet to everyone. And I do think the competition will come, and hopefully that drives prices down. Because the thing about this lifestyle is it's supposed to be cheap. And about 10 years ago, before you had all the advanced van life tech, yeah. People didn't even have data plans on their cell phones. Their internet, you couldn't dream of watching movies on your cell phone. You'll go through all your data because you only had like 6 gigs of data. And back then, if you had 6 gigs of data, whoo-wee! And now we have plans with 150 gigs of data, and we're literally hotspotting our entire internet service off of it. Like, really thinking about it, if I was to tell me 8 years ago that there was going to be an internet service you could get and it would literally work anywhere, I wouldn't say you're full of it, but I would be like, yeah, right. And then I would continue to tell 8 year ago me that it's also going to be able to work while you're moving, and you can set it up really quick and it just works, and it's fast. Faster than some of the like high-speed internet I've had at houses. Like, there's no way. I want to say to everyone that it's worth it to get it, but honestly, for some people, it's actually not. if you are literally living somewhere that you always have cellular service and you're able to, and you don't go out that often into the backcountry, then something like that isn't really worth it. The mini series, when that comes out here, yeah, that's probably going to be worth it to you because you're going to be able to set it up when you go out and then stow it away and whatever when you're not. Actually, honestly, it might even be worth it to me. I don't know. If I cut back on my usage with that and just turn down the resolution for all my videos, then probably would be. But checking my bill with it and seeing that I actually used 300 gigs of data with Starlink, maybe I do need a bigger plan. I don't know. Futuristic van life. Gotta love it. But anyways, guys, I'm also going to mention that I did turn on YouTube members. All that is basically that little join button beside subscribe there. I just do updates on where I am and what I'm up to, and that's about it in it. There's not really any private videos for it or anything like that. I just set it up as I thought it would be a nice way if someone actually wants to help out and support the channel. That's a great way to do it. And I very much appreciate you if you do decide to become a member. But if you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. I'll still keep the content rolling out for you. And with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. And I can't wait to take you with me on the next one. Later.